Okay, I wanted to talk about the 4 hour chart, and I was going to run this thing called sessions, and it is inside the platform, and it's kind of neat because it just shows you the next 4 sessions coming up. So they're just 6 hour sessions. But this is a 4 hour chart, which is a little bit more. I think if you how you play the 4 hour chart. You don't have to be on the 15-minute chart, although I think we can see in our mind's eye that if we see a 4 hour wick, there's probably a perfect double top on the 15 or the half hour inside there. You can get in. You can get a thing that'll do sessions. I can put sessions on top of this, but I could get it to play. No, those sessions would have to be on the 4 hour chart. I could get the 1 hour chart to work. But if you look at the 15-minute chart, you can see if you were to overlay a session dividers that you would get this nice profound time limit to each. You're just breaking the day down in time slices. Sounds pretty stupid. Sounds a little too simple to be real, but so here, what's the trade right now? I'm in strategy tester, so we're gonna have to test our wit, our wisdom, and this is the 50 pip grid, and we're gonna try to make 50 to 100 pips to 200 pips, right? So I'm playing it back. If I play it back faster than this, it'll kind of be too fast to talk about the trade. So I'm gonna write one notch under the fastest. You'd have to go short this if you're a guy that wants to be in the market for at least 2 more bars. You want to take an 8-hour trip south. That was your entry right there. Small bar inside of the blue cloud. Now, it doesn't work all the time, and you still have to be aware of structure here. So here's where your first buy limit comes in. So you're going to buy for the next 100 pips. And I would say I would buy for the next 100 pips for, a couple days. So, but you got like about, let's say 80K in here waiting to get filled. But maybe only, you can only fill 30K. So it looks something like this. You'd have the, you're getting filled right now, you're going long. And I would say to about here, you'd have your scalps in. So you're looking to buy the swing trade now that would cash out into the most recent floor that you see right now. Basically where all the low volatility stop bots were triggered right there. And they're making money on this dumb fucking... it's caving in. This is ultimately where you'd really want to get in pretty hard on most of the tickets. But this whole vault here is going to be interesting. And I'm projecting about 12 hours into the future. So I'm buying here. I'm getting filled on limits right now until further notice. And you could pick a different color for your limits. Johnny gets on green limits. Johnny likes green limits. But I mean, so if you imagine you've got just a fucking shitload in here, you're going to martingale in. You just buy like 1K, then you just, by the time you get to here, below here, you're just buying like, you can't fucking believe it, right? And your exit's kind of be like here. So I'm buying into this crash. Now the people that are holding for the next 4-hour bar, because they got in here in a breakout, their risk was this much. So what are they doing, right? What's their story? they're going. So these people. Let me stretch. Oh, I can leave it like that. So who's on first? What's on second? Let me get out of this thing. Let me make some space. Okay. So let's get the whole story here. Now, so I'm zoomed in. I'm one notch from totally zoomed in. But we don't have to be. We don't have to be like this. Ideally, you should be able to trade like this. No more than, in my opinion, no more than 20 bars on the screen. The 4-hour chart, my God. So much fucking shit going on here. Are you kidding me? I mean, you're really not selling up here? Well, we don't know. That's a breakout. Looks like it's going higher. Okay. But you'd have to have the scalp built into this. Prepare to sell this 15 pip. Prepare to sell this much. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting slightly long here. Now I can't drop down to the smaller time frame, and I don't think I should have to see my exit already. So on some kind of ticket here, this is the 4-hour euro. I'm buying, or I'm just sitting on the sidelines waiting to start to get filled down here. You're either waiting to get in or you're waiting to get out. You're either waiting to get out of a loser or a winner, or waiting to get into a new trade. And constantly rolling the inventory over. So it wouldn't matter. There's plenty of windows of opportunity, and here is the opening of the week. We're all the way back to the. Now this is kind of a crime for the people that have bought here on this pullback, and they're like, dude, you not believe the price I got in at. Yeah, this perfect hammer. I had a top, bottom. I got in here and I'm like, oh, fucking beautiful. Oh, look at top, bottom. People are getting in. It's fucking amazing. Oh, jeez. Fucking, oh my God. What a fucking, oh, fuck. And, holy shit. I'm underwater on this trade. Okay, so, but for the guys that haven't taken that ride, see, the problem is if you've taken that ride, then how do you feel about this next trade here? Well, if you're all beat up from all of this, so this is the so-called noise. And so, you can see it on every chart you'll ever play back, and this is just somewhere in time on the 4-hour euro dollar, which is an interesting time frame. Because I think that if you trade it from the trend side, there's not a lot of windows of opportunity. But if you trade it from this, just looking back 12 hours, it's quite interesting. A lot of great trades. Like, look at this. They just keep probing a little bit lower there. Now, if you're a person that keeps buying here at this last known kind of support area, and you figure they're trapping every seller, or they're really, this is really the edge of unfair. You're still inside of fair value, but this is the inner edge. This is the top side. Then this kind of all this chop where the moving average of one period moving averages spend so much time in the middle. That's the bulge of market profile everybody talks about. Okay, so the scalpers getting out right now. Oh, boom. So that 4-hour thing just ended. Now the guys that are holding for the next 4 hours, because they got in on that breakout system. Now, you could have done both. You could be slightly short and you could be scalping bounces. It's just how you balance how much you're in the market and how much you're out. So if you were to take every trade that's up, say, take the 25 pips out of the market, and 5 pips is the cost of trading. So you're making 20 pips a trade, right? You gotta donate quite a bit to slippage and all that nonsense. So you have to set yourself a realistic. Okay, so 20 pips you're trying to make. As soon as you want to make 40 pips, okay, now you've got a little less. I see if you run a tighter than a 10 pip stop, you're getting really close to this 20% shipping and handling issues. So you have to balance how much you're in the market. If you, because look at this crush down. So these guys that got in that breakout, they're still waiting to get paid, and they'll probably want to, like I said, the ultimate cash out, the ultimate no-brainer entry is to put a buy limit here. But I want to scale in on the way there, because I think that is the ultimate, right? You just, come into my trap of a bunch of fucking orders in a 50 pip range. 50 pip range. And you just, this guy's waiting to get paid on this. He's going to wait probably 8 hours. At the end of this 4-hour bar, I bet one of these guys, somebody in all these trillions, there's got to be some trader somewhere on the planet that literally is trading 4-hour breakouts. Now you might say, well, but look, he's getting his ass kicked because he gets trapped here. And then it goes, okay, but if he's diligently trading every fucking small breakout, granted here, it doesn't pay a lot. But this stop and reverse here, if he doesn't, how tight a stop is he running? They're going to clobber him here, because this is the big vacuum suck down. So you do both trades. You'd actually trade both systems. It's called hedging. How much do you donate to each system? Well, the market will tell you that. Okay, so these guys are still waiting to cash out into this plunge area. So we're all the way back to this price. And is this one more smash down? If they're not filling my limits by now, and they're already slightly in my limits, getting this Goldilocks amount of tickets going is the key. Okay, so waiting for this. I'll be buying at the market at the end of this candle, depending on how many limits I put in. So if I started going against this guy's entry, he gets here, he goes short here on this breakout, and he looks like a genius. But I'm saying I'm going to start buying. I see his, I see this chess guy's move. That's the game here. Look at how amazing this entry was. Look at this little spinning top. That's literally the range. The black is the range. So look at this entry here. Look at this dumb shit trade. Buy stop, sell stop, doji. Spinning top. Yes, buy stop, sell stop. How big is the ticket? I'd say more than one ticket, and you're going to have to scale out, and you're also going to have to cash out of something here, because this is where they're going to hit. The bull stops are all stacked up like this. They're going to tag that. Then they're going to go deeper and tag this guy's stop. Rip it up. We drift up. We get a top bottom. And it's like, oh yeah. Ran out of buyers. Pause. Doji. Indecision. Slam down. Plus it starts to fill this vacuum. And then when it starts to, because this kind of took away this vacuum, so only this one existed, and it was a big, hard, flat one, then you're off to the races. So at the end of this candle, I will buy at the market, and depending on how many, the size of that ticket, and then how many more limits am I going to throw out in front of this thing and try to catch a fine knife? Right, so this is a big ticket. These are small tickets, and I'm still waiting. Maybe I'm in this much. But I could literally have a 30K in here like this. Right, I could have a 30K sitting here like this. Big fat. And inside there are going to be exits. That targets are going to have to be up here So you got cash out here, cash out, cash out, cash out. You've also got a big, you have to have also a soft stop. And this way, if we get to here, also, at the end of this, like I said, at the end of this thing I'm buying, I can already see I'm going to have to buy. And if I'm really eager, I will buy here. Even though that I bought on limits, I'm like, this is the balancing act. How big do you get into these situations? This is the bottom basement floor right there. Now we're cutting into unfair value as far as, well, we jumped out of this big distribution phase up here of fairness. And everybody agreed here that this is a good place to keep exchanging price. And you get this beautiful pivot. Dead fucking on. The mother broker have a slight different interpretation of that. Here are the dojis, bookends here. Now, I'm in on limits all the way to the 50, so I always put in like at least 3 pips apart tickets. This way I get nice coverage, get a good spread, and gobble up that easy entry on limits, because at the market is fucking retarded. You have to wait for the end of this candle really to do it. There's no sense in trading at the market when you can place just a nice cushion of orders in there. Even if it's just like a 1K every 20 pips, you'll see how it just doesn't matter whether it's a fib fucking handle or not. It just doesn't matter. It may be that, but look at this 4-hour chart. This is your classic 4-hour chart. You get a low. And then you look right, and damn enough, if they didn't retest that, and it'd be like, oh, they got trapped below, so here's unfair value. They rip it back up. They pop it through the top. They're like, oh, boy. No, that's overbaked. At 145? I mean, when was the last time we saw this price, right? 145, really? So that's a new one. That's a new one on me, son. That's quite a price. Remember those days? The euro? At 145. Can you fucking believe it? This top became a bottom beautifully. And then here it's like, uh-oh. Problem. So to get this calculated entry of saying I'm going to buy for the next 50 pips in a block of whatever tickets are in there, and another 50 block, and then they can have a 50 block that overlaps that 50 block. But that's the trick. How big you get in these moves, and all this sideways shit here, and then here's the, oh, it broke out. Nope, didn't quite make it anywhere, and it's just nothing but nonsense, and this goes on for quite some time. This is utter bullshit. This is opening up into Monday. This is a Monday, Tuesday, just nonsense runs. That's a completely different kind of trade than, how does this, look at all this bullshit. Here's a nice smooth run, just graceful, come down. But then once you see these entries where you're getting in here limits and selling on limits here. So even if you sold on limits here and played 100 pip swing trade is what you're doing. 100 pip, as soon as it goes above here, you would just sell it, even if they blew out those orders, because you're going to make enough money if we were on the 1 hour chart, but you don't have to. I mean, you can look at this market right now and see the 5-minute chart in your head, and you can see the exits for the big deal structures, I think, which is this area right here where this guy got in And he's like, oh, I'm just going to trade like an idiot. If he didn't take something off the table on the way down as you crush down into this, he's nuts. Because these markets just keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. It may not look like it. It certainly looks like they're going up and down here. If you asked anybody on the street, they say, what do you think about this compared to this? And they might say, well, this looked like a nice, just looking at the line, if you just took away everything, took away all those colors and stuff. And look at this double bottom. Complete failure and low volatility, crush right through it. Didn't even come back for a dead cat bounce, and now I'm long. And this will be my first exit. It's going to have to be on the scalp to here. Then I can come back and reload and then Okay, so you'd have to reload, rinse and repeat it quite a bit actually to make money at this. Because you're just not going to see, if you're trading one instrument like this, you have to just trade the shit out of it because you just don't have the opportunity to, it's just right there in front of you. So if you just made a bunch of money right here, now you can come back and just put a thin bank in here of limits that lasts X. But you don't want to get filled yet. So whatever you made there, if you didn't make much money there, then you're going to come in with a thinner bank of buy limits because you're really looking for this thing to go to here at some point. You must, if you're a buyer here, what's on your mind? Well, what will be the point of even buying here? Unless you were looking to exit here for the scalp. And maybe then you go short or something and you just start to trade for downside. But even if you don't do that, you got to believe that this is the new entry now on limits. If you're trading bounces, you just keep putting in the limits, cash something out, and try not to trade at the market. Try not to pull the trigger, the market order trigger, because you're just not going to be able to stay awake 24 hours to pull the trigger on some of these trades. And you're going to miss the best fucking trades. So having your sell limits up here well in advance, realizing that there's got to be some kind of pullback in this 50 pip window, something. And you already know that if you sell up into that, this has got to be your exit and you made money on that trade. Just the wick. Just scalping the wick, you've made money. It's amazing. It's the dumbest trade. I can't say this is with a 50 pip stop, you made your 50 pips. And if you stayed long enough, you made 100. And if you stayed long enough, you made 150. You can see all the, not quite 200 pips. And if you got greedy, you'd say, well, I was greedy. I was looking for 200 pips. And then the thing turned around, ripped my head off, and went like this. Just like these entries here. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? Get a big fat order bank in here. They fill you, and then you're getting filled in the buy stops. I just love trading. I just love putting a fucking order out there and going, daring these fuckers to fill it. After trading at the market like a fucking idiot, and so when I trade at the market, I'm like, oh God, I can't believe I'm fucking hitting this. I'm gonna make a WAV file for the script that says, I can't believe you just fucking pulled the trigger at the market. What a fucking idiot. Like you just have samples like that when you hit that button, because it just means that you didn't think to put a few limits in case we go, just in case the market might go lower, and or selling at the market, same stupidity. Now I might sell one ticket at the market, but that may be, I would say, I'm trying to keep that to 10% of my bullets go to pulling the trigger. The rest of my bullets go to just laying bullets on the driveway with detonators, like touch-sensitive detonators. The market comes to me and they touch my order, and I get in. And if at the end of the day I look at my platform and I see a bunch of limits have been filled, I think, well, that's good, because I certainly don't want to put well, like I said, the buy stop thing. Yeah, I guess you have to donate a little bit to that, 20% to a your account to a buy stop maybe. I mean, ideally, it's limits, I think. It depends who you are, though. Some people are going to prefer the under trading as opposed to the over trading. But I don't know if you're under trading, over trading. If you say I'm going to risk $500 and you take that 500 and you run one ticket as opposed to 10 tickets, 10 tickets will take a little more work, but certainly going to diffuse your risk. So at this point, we see the scalpers have gotten out because we have a hammer there, a doji, which means that it wasn't a big down candle, or it was a substantial. In other words, it just bounced there. We don't see this big smashing down. And now here comes the algo, or the idea of putting a buy stop here and a sell stop down here now. This is the new strategy. But we've already scalped out of something, and now we have to think about, are we going to hold some of this, or are we going to just put some buy limits down here? Now I got to speed it up. So let me see if I can cruise along with this at a decent pace. Gonna bump the robot speed. Take it up to max. Max headroom. One notch and it's gonna be ripping. So I gotta hurry up and try to call out the trades here. So the in other words, the buy stop, sell stop strategy still crushing in, right? So we had to scalp to here. Now we got more buy limits getting filled, and I'm going to really load up here. Now I got to cash out here again because this will be resistance. Okay, now I cashed out of maybe hopefully 30% here. Now that's the key. Now we put more limits back in, because it's just never done doing anything. And look at how vicious. And once again, we've had these guys sitting here all day waiting. Oh, we could have put these orders in after these two bars. We literally could have started putting sell limits in like this. I'm sorry, sell stops. Here's your sell stop stacking up. Sell limits are going to be on the very edge wicks. Just like, so here. Now this is the buy stops and sell stops in a small bar strategy. This one's a trap trade. But we'd already planned on buying limits down here, so. Okay, I'd be holding this and start cashing out here, and then probably dump the whole thing here. And then come back in with the limits again. So now the limits are going to go here for another plunge escapade. And then the shallow limits are here, tighter stops. So we don't know how far, we don't know if we're going to replunge here, but just in case, we'll have a running tickets here that last like all day, so we don't have to fuck with them. It's a big swing trade, and we're scalping around current price, but we have giant swings in the same market. This is going to be the ultimate target if we load up and accumulate in here while scalping this whole area too. Trying to make our 20 pips, 15 pips. This is a 50 pip handle, so you got to imagine how much money can be made here. on just this dumb shit. Now we have a small bar, which means here comes the breakout reversal, guys. This is the double top that's supposed to be a double. It's supposed to be resistance. A lot of people are going to cash out here. We're going to go long on our, so this is the smallest bar so far. And we're just going to hold. Now we're about balanced in this thing, but we still got this exposure because we got limits pending down here for the swing maybe later this week. Right, that's what we're thinking. And if the ultimate exit's going to be here. We expect sellers here. And I'm going to start putting sell limits up here now. And maybe I put one here just for a ricochet down to this pivot. But I wouldn't get carried away. Now I'm really getting pretty bullish. So I want to put limits here. So now I'm going to say, you know what? Let's just sit here and try to scalp whatever we can in a 20 pip and 15 pip targets. Okay, I bought this top become a bottom here at the market. So the market orders are coming in based on what's going on with the line chart. So obviously this was the top become a bottom. I would have got in here. We can see all the range bots have got in here. And we're riding this north big target there. Now the sellers, we're going to have to cash out here because this is the rooftops where we expect it. Already here, right? We cashed out. We always have to be getting the fuck out of something because we cannot hold. It's just, trust me, you don't want to be the guy that bought fucking here and you're in the same goddamn size position. You are underwater on the next fucking time and you're like, okay, I know this is going to go up right to here. You may say that, but it's not any fun once you realize, if you were buying the new lows here and you had, look at this doji, look at this, if bottoms are supposed to become tops, then this bottom would have become a top and it would have kept tanking, but it didn't. But this double top became a bottom and you're like, holy shit, look at the range. Now it's all quiet. You're coming into Tuesday now. If we can take this out, probably ricochet off that, but then engulf that. Okay, now I got the buy limits coming in. Anytime I see the market moving down, I'm like, oh yeah, they're going to go out here now. Look at them fucking crush that. And look at the non-directional traders are cleaning up on this shit. Sell stops, buy stops. Look at that. Now, I'm not touching that till it crushes. Oh, they just filled all my limits. I love that. Oh yeah, we're cashing out here. Boom, we're out. Now come in more limits. Did you see how fast that fucker came up and then just went bam and opened up? Did you see that 4-hour manipulation? That's the talking about trading on the clock. I mean, if anything, that is truly amazing. The 4-hour chart. No, they're filling my buy limits. I can't see back any further into data, I don't think. Wait. No, it's all the data we got, so. But we're buying. We don't give a fuck. Okay, buy. We got some scalps in. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty tough. You've got to be able to move your orders between 25 pips apart and 10 pips apart. You can't have densities. You can't have a linear density. You're trying to catch a falling knife. You got to have this diffusion. You can't fucking stand in front of this market with one ticket on a small account and expect them not. Look at them crush that fucker. Okay, so they're filling my limits. And I'm also just waiting. I gotta wait till the end of that candle to buy at the market. So don't forget, I bought at the market here why? Because it's down hard. Here, maybe I gotta buy a stop. Here, definitely have a buy stop if I'm that guy, but I'm not. Then I bought the market here, and then here I really didn't buy at the market that much. I maybe bought a little. I bought with a tight stop at the market. I guess I'd call it buying at a tight stop at the market. Okay, now they're filling my limits for sure. And I'm going to buy really big. I'm already getting filled. But if it closes down hard, boom. Okay, so I just bought the market again. But I'm not getting in that big here. I'm scalping out. These limits have scalps built in. They're filling more tickets. It's like fishing. I don't know if you've ever gone fishing, but you've got to give the fish line. This is what you're really kind of trying to get you caught the fish, right? They're catching your tickets, but you've got to give it enough line. And so you'd have to say, oh no, this is fucking, you just step back. I can't see I can't see back historically, but I bet we're crushing into some serious vacuum on another time frame to the left of us. But we don't need to know that. We just say, oh, here also, if we're trading bidirectionally, we're already going short here and short here. So we're going to go with it and we're going to go against it. We're going to go with it and against it. So there's a trade plan for this small bar, almost a rally in the blue cloud. Here, not so much. Small bars in any cloud, you have to have your breakout tickets in there. This is the ultimate breakout. Look at this. You're talking about a market that spent this much time in a 25 pip range, and then it literally went down 200 pips in like 2 days. Don't look back. Okay, now I'm still getting filled on limits. Scalping. This is the only scalp in here. And I'm slightly selling these breakouts, but I'm not trusting it's going to keep tanking. So it's almost like not being in the market in some degree. How much should you be in the market? Okay, you're trading both systems. You realize there's a downtrend, and even when you sell, you're still cashing out where the buyers are coming in. Okay, now, amazing smash down. Here's where you're just kind of you have to scalp some of that. You're not going to be able to ride this down. This thing got down forever. Okay, so I bought a ton here at the market because it just collapsed so hard into this here. Now here's the trap beginning. So see that trap? Insane lows, and this double top in a downtrend or the pullback, more over lower price. And here's where it starts. So the scalpers had their fun there, and now you put more limits in down here again. This is a bottom becoming a top. But where's it going to close? Look at the scalpers. Wow, amazing. So all these tickets that you have more tickets down here than you had in any of these bounces. So say you stream limits all the way down, 50 pips apart, and you're getting stopped out of some of this shit, but you're actually going to take on the low volatility entries, which is only like this one maybe. I said these are low volatility entries. This big hard down candle, I wouldn't sell after that. You're waiting for a small candle to get on the trend train. And if you have a 200 pip stop on this ticket and a 200 pip stop on each of these, then you're still holding on to these tickets. You're still in these tickets right now. And you know this has got to be your exit too. Where we had 8 hours of sideways, of no nonsense. There's another 8. This is 8. This is what is this? 8. 24 hours. This is one day. Well, 24 hours. It may not be a day. Of nothing going on. 50 pip range here, 8 hours. I'm sorry, this, yeah, 8 hours, and this is going to be 12. But you have to, I'm sure on the left side, I can't see it, but I'm sure this was the deal. You made a new low for the week. And look at the fucking crush, and this would be the ultimate exit if you're going to swing trade this on a real, for this whole week. And this will end up being a wick of something and a hammer. Okay, you definitely had to get out here because of this top. So I would have gone flat right here. Now I'm going to come in with the limits, and I feel a lot more confidence that because we're chopping around here, I can trade little shallow scalps now. That was quite a tremendous sell-off. All right, so it's really hard to give the fish this much line. To trade this, you've got to just go, this motherfucker. You'll be looking at the left on the monthly. I'm sure it's crushing to pieces. Here is a top becoming a double bottom. This was the double top becoming a bottom failure. But what made this amazing entry was it was so tight that all your scripts that you don't normally run, because you couldn't run them on here, your tight scripts, you couldn't run them here. There's the robots that trade this kind of baby triangle bots. Okay, now here comes where it's paying off that you loaded the wagon, so to speak. You got in at these prices and with a 300 pip stop. $30 a trade. And if you didn't buy here, but you did say, okay, every 50 pips after this may become a winner. No, in 2 weeks. How long do you want to be in the trade? Some people hold stocks I used to be in the stock market for like 6 months. I thought, God, I can't believe it. Maybe you didn't even look at the chart. Just look at the quote, Who needs a chart? I'm not planning on getting out. I mean, if you looked at the chart, you guys think about, I don't know. Just this is like, by the way, this robot in here is just trading like an idiot. Something I wrote that just happens to run. I don't know if it's making any money. But, yeah, I love testing my thinking skills here. What do I do? How do I trade this fucking insane? Okay, now we have some clue of the train here. Everybody got out there, as you can see. Not everybody, but a lot of people got out here with this floor. All this stuff here, right out here, they got out because. And wow, now I'm putting the buy limits in again. So I just like that. It can go to sleep at night knowing that I'll probably get filled on something. If I put a buy limit 5 pips deep, I'm like, I bet they fill that. Now I could put a 500 pip stop and buy 5 pips deep. It's completely different than putting in a 10 pips deep with a 20 pip stop to scalp and have that just predetermined. Now it's getting very quiet again. So we have this. Now we have a little more history to go on here. I'm getting filled on my buy limits, as you can imagine. I just love that. I love that strategy. What's your strategy? People ask me. Get in on buy limits. That's my strategy. I just realized that I'm looking at the clock. I thought this was a live market, and I'm like, it says top of the hour's coming. Shit, look out. So here I'm getting filled on my buy limits. Let's see if this thing's making any money. No, not exactly. Okay.